Millennials are always told to skip the Starbucks, cut the avocado toast, just to save for retirement. But what if I told you didn't have to? I'm Rachel Engel with Styles Financial, and on this week's Financial Flash, I'm going to show you how small changes can lead to big financial outcomes. Most people know they should be saving around 15% of their income, but if you're currently saving 3%, 5%, even 6%, jumping straight to 15% feels unrealistic. So it's easy to put it off, and in investing, doing nothing is often the most expensive mistake you can make. But what if I told you that just a 1% change could reshape your financial future? This is the power of 1%. Most people hear 1% and think insignificant, but in finance, 1% isn't small, because over time it compounds and creates real differences in outcomes. Small improvements don't just add up, they build on themselves over time. Not all at once, but gradually, and that's what creates massive differences in outcomes. Let's make this practical. Let's look at two people, Lucy and Ricky. Same salary, same raises, same investment returns. Lucy earns $100,000 a year, gets 4% raises, contributes 5% with a 3% employee match, and earns a 7% return. She does that for 30 years and ends up with roughly $1.2 million. Ricky starts the exact same way, but increases his contribution by just 1% each year until he reaches 15%. In year 2, he's making $104,000. His savings go up about $24 a week, while his pay increases about $78 a week. So he still feels richer, he's just redirecting part of the raise. Over time, that small shift compounds. Ricky ends up with over $2 million. Same income, same raises, same returns, just a 1% change each year.
That's good.
In retirement planning, this shows up as the 1% rule. Instead of jumping to 15%, you increase your contribution by just 1% each year. So if you're saving 3% today, next year it becomes 4%, then 5%, then 6%. And over time, you work your way up to a strong savings rate without really feeling it in your paycheck. What makes this powerful isn't just the math, it's behavior. First, it reduces friction. Going from 3 to 15% feels overwhelming. Going from 3 to 4%, that's barely noticeable. Second, it protects your lifestyle. If you align your increases with raises, you're not losing income, you're just saving more of what you would have spent. Third, it's easy to automate. Most retirement plans let you turn on auto escalation, so these increases happen in the background. You set it once, and it builds momentum over time. And this doesn't just apply to how much you save, it also applies to how your money grows. If you're earlier in your career, especially with growing income, you have two key advantages: time and cash flow. And that makes you highly sensitive to small edges. And you can see that clearly when you look at investment returns. The difference between earning 7 and 8% over 30 years isn't just 1%. It's the difference between how many times your money doubles. Here's a simple way to think about that. There's a concept in finance called the rule of 72. It tells you roughly how long it takes you for your money to double. Just divide 72 by your rate of return. At 7%, your money doubles about every 10 years. At 8%, it doubles about every 9 years. That 1% difference doesn't sound like much, but it speeds up the entire compounding process. And over a 30-year career, that can mean your money doubles one additional time. And that's how small improvements turn into big gains. Now, to be clear, starting at 15% immediately is still mathematically better than ramping up slowly. But for many people, that's just not realistic. The important thing is to start early and keep increasing. Because the biggest mistake isn't starting small, it's never increasing at all. A lot of people stay stuck at 3 to 5% for years. The 1% approach solves that, and ultimately the biggest driver of outcomes isn't even the percentage, it's time. Starting at 40 years old instead of 30 can cut your results nearly in half because of lost compounding. So here's the takeaway. Consider increasing your savings by 1% today. Turn on auto escalation in your 401k if it's available. Set a long-term target around 15% and make sure you're capturing your full employer match. Because in finance, success doesn't come from big moves. It comes from small advantages compounded over time. That's the power of 1%. And the best part, you don't have to give up the coffee or the avocado toast. You just have to be a little bit more intentional with what's left. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter, YouTube channel, and Financial Flash email list. And be sure to reach out to us directly if you have any questions. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next Financial Flash. Have a great weekend.
educational content by the professionals at Styles Financial Services, delivering customized portfolios aligned to your unique wealth goals.